The search for immortality is a natural desire because it is your natural state. You are a soul and you are naturally immortal. That's why you're looking for immortality. When you take birth in the human form of life, this desire for immortality can potentially become conscious and transformed into spiritual liberation. If it doesn't become conscious, you search for it through the process of reproduction. You see, you're either going to achieve immortality by reproducing offspring, or you're going to achieve immortality by creating a spiritual body. Let me explain. Hi, my name is Nakula Das and I help men master their sex energy so they can become powerhouses both in and outside the bedroom. Go to the description below, register for my upcoming webinar, Sex Mastery 101, and you can get started to sexual alchemy mastery by taking my free program called the Free Ejaculation Control Guide. All the links are in the description. Let's talk about semen retention and immortality. The practitioner of sexual alchemy and semen retention purposely, consciously puts themselves in uncomfortable situations so that they can go into self-management mode. Now I'm going to explain what self-management mode is, but before I do, let me explain what consciously putting yourself into uncomfortable situations means. Cold showers, that's an uncomfortable situation. Lifting heavy weights, uncomfortable situation. Working out, challenging yourself, facing your insecurities and fears, those are all challenging, uncomfortable situations. The sexual alchemist, the semen retention practitioner, the man practicing NoFap, he's putting himself into uncomfortable situations to put his body into self-management mode. Now, what is self-management mode? This is when your body learns to retain its energy and stimulate its own growth to become better. For example, if you're lifting heavy weights, you consciously put yourself under pressure so that your muscles grow. That's how everything works. If you want to grow in any way, you cannot avoid discomfort. For those who avoid discomfort, they live a very uncomfortable life because they're always avoiding what nature designed you to do, which is to grow, not to be comfortable. Okay? There is time for comfort, but it's not your main purpose. So the sexual alchemist, the semen retention practitioner, is pushing the boundaries of discomfort and putting their body into self-management mode, and so they're growing tremendously. Your body retains its energy and utilizes that energy by nature's design, stimulating higher levels of testosterone, repairing the cells of the body, giving you deeper voice, clearer skin, brighter eyes, sharper intellect, more charisma, more confidence, self-esteem, self-value. And this, of course, raises all the standards in which you live. And the only way to raise your bank account, to get better your relationship, to better your body, to better your entire life is to raise your standards. And this is what you must do. Self-management mode means that you start to feel fulfilled and from within yourself. You're no longer relying on the outside world to fulfill you. This is what most men and women, this is true for both, are doing right now. We're constantly searching to comfort ourselves from outside of ourselves. Junk food, porn, masturbation, social media, entertainment, sleeping too much. All of this is a form of self-comfort. And what it does is it diminishes your self-management mode. Now you need something outside of you to continuously make you feel good. Now, I'm not demonizing those things. I'm not against anything, quite frankly. If you have a glass of wine once in a while, or you do something once in a while, then that's fine. But if it's an addiction, if it's something that you're constantly needing, that is limiting your actual purpose, which is to grow and evolve. As a man, as you retain your semen, which is going to be the most uncomfortable thing that you do, you're going to literally hold so much energy within you that this energy is going to propel you to new heights and is going to begin to heal you on 4 different levels. I'm going to speak about these 4 different levels separately, but they're happening simultaneously. The reality is you can't really separate them, but we're going to separate them just for a matter of understanding. So the first way it's going to heal you is on the physical level. On the physical level, because you're going to be stimulated with so much testosterone and all of that energy, all your best nutrients, enzymes, proteins are going to be stored within you, and you're not just wasting it away on, inside the toilet or tissue or wherever you're wasting it. It's going to stay within you. By nature's will and design, it's going to reabsorb all of that nutrients, and it's going to start to repair your cells. It's going to start to brighten your skin. It's going to start to give you more muscle definition, fat loss. You're going to notice that you need to eat less, yet you have more energy. It's going to give you a high sex drive, and this high sex drive, if controlled, is going to propel you to heights of ambition that most men only dream about. It's why we love watching movies of all these men doing these amazing things. For example, there was a study done on The Sopranos. Why is the show Sopranos so popular at the time? And shows like Game of Thrones and the Vikings are, up the ante. It all came down to Tony Soprano embodied what most of us consider to be the ultimate male. He did what he wanted. He took what he wanted. He took action. He defended. He protected. Even though he had a lot of problems, like, don't get me wrong, Tony Soprano, in my opinion, is not a role model. But we have to understand, why is it that we're so attracted to these type of characters? It's because they embody what we all know we should be, but 99% of us are not being it. So once you learn to hold your semen for long periods of time, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, years, you are going to have such a tremendous amount of drive, and your body is going to become more masculine, making you more attractive to women, making you more attractive to other men, not necessarily in a sexual way, sometimes yes, but in a way where they want to be like you. They see in you what they should be. So this is the first way it's going to heal you. It's going to be on the physical level. The second way it's going to heal you is on the mental level. Most of our addictive behaviors start in early childhood. It starts young, and most of it is actually encouraged. So I'm going to give an example of junk food, or porn is another one, or drugs, anything, it doesn't matter. Let's say that you're given a lot of junk food at an early age to comfort you. You develop a pathway or an association that says junk food means comfort, and you get a dopamine hit from it. And that's why when you're feeling uncomfortable, you're feeling down, you're not feeling well, some of us want to go get junk food. Some of us want to go smoke dope. Some of us want to, watch porn or masturbate. It's because we're trying to comfort ourselves. The challenge with this is that not only does it damage us physically, that part can be healed, all of it can be healed on all levels, but it also damages mentally. Wherever our addiction starts, psychologically, in your psyche, you actually stop growing. This is why you can meet someone in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s. I've met people in their 60s, and it's like talking to a child. You're like, wow, how are they so immature? How is it that they're still getting, wild up over pettiness? How is it that they still can't discipline themselves? And I bet you if you peer deep into their life, you will see many addictive behaviors. Because where your addiction starts, you stop. Let's imagine that you're walking down the street and your jacket gets caught on a hook. The Buddhists call it entanglement, or the Hindus will call it attachment. There's many different ways this has been described. But this hook catches onto your coat. All of a sudden, you can't move. You're trying, but you can't move. And eventually, if it stays for long enough, you stop trying and you eventually just become subdued. It's like the elephant who gets put on a stick. They put a stick on the ground and they put him on a chain, and they only allow the elephant to walk on a chain for a certain diameter. Then they release the elephant from the chain, and the elephant still doesn't go anywhere because he's now trained himself that this is my space, this is my area, and I'm not even going to try to expand. That's what's happening to so many people right now on the planet. In fact, this is happening to more people than not. The good news is if you are a person who's willing to do something about it, you're going to easily stand out and go places in this world. In fact, you'll become so valuable that people will be opening doors of opportunity for you. Come join my movement. Come be part of my company. I want to pay you more. I want to do this with you. Why? Because you'll become so much different than the pack. You'll separate yourself. Now, what's happened is a lot of people have these hooks and don't realize that they're hooked. So imagine, again, you're walking on the street, you get hooked, your jacket gets caught in a hook, and you don't realize it, and you don't realize this is why you're stuck. A lot of men, women too, don't realize that the reason that they're stuck is because they've allowed themselves to be hooked by too many negative things, and now it's so difficult for them to move forward. As you learn to cultivate your sexual energy, practice sexual alchemy, where you learn to move energy through your body, blocking and essentially tearing off those hooks, you become free of those attachments and hooks, and boom, you get to expand forward. And instead of being stuck as a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old, wherever it is that you picked up that addiction, you now begin to expand and grow. And when you expand and grow, you feel fulfilled, because that is what nature designed you to do. Nature designed you to evolve. So you got to evolve. And the way that you evolve is you have to let go of the old and embrace the new. Now, this also helps you heal on the third level, which is emotionally. Because as you heal mentally, you'll heal emotionally. Let me just say it frankly. Little boys, essentially. If you're a little boy, you know how you know if you're a little boy in your emotional intelligence? You avoid your problems. Most drugs, alcohol, not all, and again, I'm not against any of it. I mean, you do something once in a while, it's probably not going to have a big deal. But if you're addicted, if you're using it as escapism, you essentially cannot deal with your own life, so you hide behind social media, you hide behind drugs, you hide behind alcohol, you hide behind the porn screen all day long, because you know you have bigger problems to deal with. You are a little boy in your psyche, and I don't mean that to be mean, I mean that to wake you up. Boys escape their problems. Men face their problems head on. I'm speaking about personal experience. I've dealt with marijuana addiction for many years of my life. And there's a direct correlation. When I'm smoking weed, my ability to get things done and move myself and my family forward become less. When I'm not, I'm on fire, right? We get things done, we move things forward, opportunities come. It's as simple as that. You have to deal with your challenges, and that's what men do. And as you learn to retain your semen, you're going to become more of a man. So emotionally, you become more solid. You're not thrown off by the world and all of its pettiness. You've got your goals, you've got your vision, and you're going for it. You also raise the standards of yourself and therefore the people around you. You no longer put up with little bullshit or pettiness. You don't have time for it. You become a man on a mission. And this becomes attractive to the feminine energy. So you'll notice that over time, it's not going to happen right away. You know, some guys practice semen retention for a week and 2 weeks. They're like, why aren't all these hot women propositioning me? Right? You know, why isn't my boss raised by... No, you got to live the lifestyle of a sexual alchemist. Semen retention is not something you do for a week or two. It's a lifestyle. And you don't have to give up sex. That's why I teach sexual alchemy. You can have an amazing... In fact, your sex life is going to get better because you're going to have so much orgasmic energy in you. And you will attract hot women around you. You know, you'll notice it. But you have to have the willpower and discipline to go for long enough to actually be able to get those results. So it's not going to happen overnight. You got to get committed to it. And you got to put in the work. I've got free programs, free webinar, free ejaculation control guide, all to get you started. I've developed an entire training process to help you do it. It's the same techniques that I learned that's helped me explode my life in all ways and continue to grow. It's an expansive energy. And this is the fourth level it will heal you on, which is the spiritual level. Now, spiritual energy, who you really are, is expansive. You know, it says the universe is always expanding, always creating new forms. That's you. You are part and parcel of this great universe, which isn't just this little peon, just this little kind of thing. If you identify too much with the body, You'll have poor self-image. You'll have poor self-esteem because you'll just think of yourself as this little small thing. But as soon as you learn to cultivate massive amounts of sexual energy, by retaining that semen, by retaining that orgasm and keeping that inside of you, whoo, you're going to explode and become expansive. Not only that, but your perception into this material plane will become so crystal clear that you'll be able to see through the pettiness and nonsense. You won't, as the great mystic Osho said, the lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinion of the sheep. Too many of you are letting the opinion of the sheep sway you. Buy into someone's opinion, buy into their lifestyle. Look at who they are. Is that who you want to be? Then great, buy into it. If that's not who you want to be, and I don't care if it's your mommy or your daddy or your uncle or your cousin or your best friend, do you want to be like them? If you want to be like them, great. If you don't want to be like them, you have to look at others who you do want to be like and start modeling them. That is the way to the quickest transformation. Now, spiritual healing in this context, in which I'm speaking right now, is I'm going to say, if you look at the Wikipedia definition of spirituality, it means to understand your relationship with the world around you. How are you connected to everything? To the food you eat, to the entertainment you watch, right? To the books you read or to the audios you listen to. It's all telling you who you are. It's all reflecting back to you where you're at. If you're unconscious, you don't see that. But you will have such high perception into this material plane that you'll be able to choose a life that you want as opposed to just going along with whatever life has dealt you. You'll not only be able to play a different set of cards, you'll literally be able to wipe the whole pack out and pick your own cards. Think about if you were to walk around with glasses on that had dirt on those glasses and you didn't realize you were wearing glasses. You would perceive the world as a dirty place. How many people right now perceive the world as a scary place, a bad place, a scarce place? Why? Because that's the lens in which they are looking through life. So what is our lens? How do we perceive this world? Through the body. The physical body is like the glasses. The physical body is your lens in which you, the soul, is perceiving life. So if you've got a dirty body, a body with no energy, you're putting a bunch of nonsense into your body, you're not exercising, you're not taking care of yourself, you're not doing the things you know you need to do, your lens is dirty. And your self-esteem, your self-worth, your ability to take action, everything that you think about yourself is coming through this dirty lens, and it's false. It's not real. You've bought into a perception that isn't even real. Semen retention is going to clean the body. Sex energy does that when it's used consciously. When you develop your sexual energy, when you learn how to move energy through your body, you clean up all of that energetic blocks. It's like wiping the dirt from the glasses, and this gives you strong perception into the world. And it's this perception that's going to allow you to become effective and successful in anything that you choose. This is why in the spiritual orders around the world that have created spiritual giants, ultimately chastity was the greatest virtue. Now, I'm not a chaste person, right? That's why I teach sexual alchemy, which takes from the Taoist tradition that allows you actually to still have a very active sex life, but still retain your semen and transform your relationship with sex and your sexual energy. And this will transform you and your entire experience of this life. And if you choose to go beyond that into greater realms, you're going to have the option, because you yourself will know, I am not this body or this mind with all its limitations and nonsense that I've been told, but I am a co-creator with the co-creator himself. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you go register for Sex Mastery 101, subscribe, hit the bell, get notified when I'm releasing new videos. I'll see you on the next video.